Well, hello everybody and welcome back to our English Let's Play here on the US map. And we are back and it's about time that we get something done on this safe game. Also, I'm not sure if I can really take this turn, but yeah, I think I can. It looks like it. It's fine, okay. Yeah, it's about time. We really get stuff done. So as you can see, we have September now. I did sleep a night away and that changed our month. I also completely forgot to change the days of the month from 1 to at least 3, which is, well, this is also bad. A collision there, okay. Yeah, I'm actually at the wrong end anyways. I wanted to unload the bales into this shed, but yeah, I almost high centered here again. That's not right. I'm really not sure if I actually should use this big trailer to do stuff like that and to actually unload the straw up here. Maybe I should just unload the straw further down in the farm. This is pretty stupid what I'm doing here right now. I could get stuck very easily, but just keep on doing this and see what happens. I think we're about right there. So yeah, talking about the day of the month, I should do that right away. Otherwise I'm going to forget. So let's set it to 3 days for now. Not sure if it's going to switch on the next change or only in 3 months. We'll see. But yeah, I completely forgot that I had a field of OSR. So yeah, that's not going to happen now. we can only mulch that down and yeah, but okay. Otherwise, we are right now pretty much ready for silage. So as soon as we get the straw picked up, we're going to get into silage, and I'm going to pick up the tractor down there at the silage bins or silage bunks because I want to show them to you and because I wanted to talk about that. I did something there, right? I really don't like the silage clamps where you drive through them, but unfortunately the only clamp here, and can go in there for a moment there, the only silage clamp here that is basically this one is the base game silage clamp, and I had this placed before, and as you can see it's the same size, but it's only one clamp instead of many, and it just that didn't fit the scale of the farm and it just wasn't nice and realistic. So yeah, now there is mods. But they're also way too big. This is the smallest one on the mod. So what I did was simply took the wall out of the decorations and fences section and walled off the end here. And that works. There's a tip collision there, so it should work. That it's not a tip collision where it's going to be high. It's going to be a little bit like this. But I really want to try it out and see if it works. But now there's a little bit of an issue. I don't like compacting on a silage clamp. Especially, I don't like doing that in single player because I already have AI worker for the forage harvester because I need to drive the trailer. Well, obviously, because that's just how things work in single player. And then each time I unload a trailer here, I need to switch gears and hop into another tractor and compact the clamp, and it's just really not a great workflow and not realistic anyways. In real life you would have many people when doing this, many trailers, many transporting, and that's something that can't really be done in single player unless you get really into crossplay and auto drive and stuff like that. But crossplay does have a silo clamp compacting feature, and I really would want to use that, but obviously since this is a clamp where you can drive through it, crossplay thinks it's a clamp where you can drive through it, so it drives all the way in here, and then it gets stuck on this wall and says, well, there's an object in the way. So yeah, I basically have two options for the silage now. I can either do the clamp compaction manually, or I need to remove this wall and basically make the back end here accessible. Maybe remove a few trees here and yeah, make it so I can drive through them. I really don't want to do that, but maybe I have to do that in order to use the clamp compaction of crossplay. so I don't have to do that by hand manually. Yeah, because that just makes single-player Silage a little bit more realistic feeling, if you don't have to switch between tractor and driving. Yeah, when we talk about realism, this thing has the Massey Ferguson loader now. It looks a little bit better, and it's better proportion for this vehicle, but it still has a big issue, as you can see down there. DNR, drive, neutral, reverse. Yep, this thing is a Dyna 6 power shift transmission in real life, and try and thought, well, we make it a CVT. It's obviously a bug. It's a bug I have reported a long time ago, and yeah, unfortunately it has not been fixed yet. I could fix it with my real metal gearbox script, and I will probably when I think. No, not when I think. When I that would have been a very literal translation of German to English, which would not work. Was about to say when I think about it, but that's not correct. I wanted to say if I don't forget about it. So yeah, so that's currently an issue, but I'm going to drive it anyways because I want to use it to unload the bales. I think it's a lot more reasonable to use the tractor here now instead of driving the skid steer up here. But obviously we do have a bit of a space constraint here. After I've talked so much about there's not space constraint on US farms, this farm is a bit tight, but I mean it's my own fault for wanting to put bales up here, but I think it's going to work. Really well, I think. And this tractor is a great loader tractor because of the hood that is kind of falling down. Yeah, I like this tractor actually. I do really like it a lot. Obviously, using the skid steer in here would be a lot more nice to maneuver, but I think it's a lot more economical to just have the skid steer on the field. Of course, I could use the giant worker to drive the skid steer up here. Just like IRL, you'd probably have more than one person working with this, but I thought I was going to try it with the tractor here first. So quick thing, this looks really odd texture wise. As you can see, there's black and beige. I can really zoom in there. Like, this is now in the middle of the screen, there's like weird beige points, but I think it should all be black, so I guess that's a bit of an issue, bug maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think if that's also a weird thing, like this door handle here in the back being completely like chrome. I don't know. Maybe it's in real life. I mean, Massey Ferguson does have a few like chrome interior pieces. I think that monitor over there, that is correct this way. I'm not sure. But all the door handles being completely chromed, I am not sure. So yeah, it feels like this tractor is a bit not the nicest. Nicest one. I'm also not sure. This is not the newest tractor. It's not a 5S. It's a 5712. So it's basically a previous generation tractor. The question is this maybe a tractor from like the older game? I think it's not the same as in FS25, or maybe it would be FS19 tractor. I don't know. Something's going on with this. I didn't really look into it much. I like this tractor. I think it's actually pretty nice. And yeah, with the drop nose, it's a pretty good tractor in terms of visibility for loader work. But yeah, I don't know what's going on here. So it's a bit light. I probably should get the Bobcat over here. It's not a Bobcat, it's in New Holland, but you know what I mean. I should get the skid steer over here. But yeah, I guess we can kind of make it work here. It doesn't have to be a pretty stack of bales. It's fine. At least the mirrors work somewhat in this tractor. That's nice. So So I guess this went horrible. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the lower bale here. It seems to be that the bale behind us is also stuck away from, like, it's not really moved backwards. I don't know if it's a collision. Nah, it doesn't really look like it. No idea what's going on there, but anyways, yeah, they look like they don't want to stay in that place long, so maybe they'll explode. I don't know. We'll see. Not really the greatest bale stack I ever did, but yeah, it doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to be out of the rain for now. And that's also the first time we're going to use this new bale shed over here, so yeah. Ooh, no, 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 no. So there's bound to be some weirdness unless we, until we figure out how to properly use that shed and how to basically put the bales in a way that makes sense and that we can easily get to them and stuff like that. So yeah, that's something that is still to be determined, obviously. So yeah, I think we are going to drive out that way. No, we don't want to drive out. Oh, well, yeah, I guess we can drive out that way. Oh, I think we did a pretty good job here, and we forgot a bale. I was about to say we didn't forget a bale, and it just appeared over there. But that's fine because we all have one spot left on the trailer. If we would have had any more bales, we would have had to get creative to fit more on the trailer. I mean, in theory, there would be ways. I could put one bale on the trailer. I mean, we can stack 3 high individually because that's not the skids you want to go that high, but you can stack 2 high. So I could put one bale on and then stack 2 on top of each other and put them on top of the one that is already on. That way I could put 3 high on everywhere on the trailer. So yeah, if we ever have to transport bales from further away, we can perfectly fine do that. If you ever have to transport bales from further away, we also need to get the skid steer there with the trailer and then get it back with the trailer. So the question is, can I get it in there? And the answer is no. The issue also is, I don't know if you have noticed, is that some of those bales are different sizes. Obviously, this all happened in the episode that wasn't, and we did combine these fields and we did bale them, and I started out with the default 220 meter bales, but then I decided I want to do the really long ones, 240 meters, the longest bales, because just seemed to fit to farm. But obviously, two of the 240 bales are actually too heavy to lift with this thing without being really light on the rear wheel. We had a little accident coming down this hill here where we tipped over to the front once. So yeah, that's a thing that obviously if we would bale everything into 20 bales, that would not happen. Here you can see that's a 240, that's a 220 bale. And I think the difference is just enough between those two that a 220 bale would be okay to lift without having these issues, and a 240 bale is just, 240s is just really, really close to the capacity of the loader. So yeah, we'll see if we're going to do a 240 or 220 next time we bale. But I think we have a nice trailer going here. That's pretty neat. I mean, it's not stacked the best, but that's okay. As I said, we don't really need to go very far, so that's fine. Also, wanted to make a screenshot, but there's a second window that opened a moment ago. Yeah, that's fine. That looks okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, what do you expect? Our farm is just up there, and even if it were further away, we probably wouldn't have stacked much more nice. By the way, here, quick screenshot mod. One key press to hide the HUD and zoom in the camera. Pretty neat stuff. If I do say so myself, obviously, yes, that's the mod I made, and I'm going to advertise it because why not? It's on ModHub. It's called Quick Screenshot Mode, and if you ever want to make screenshots, I would really suggest you download it, because it's just so quick and easy to hide the HUDs and zoom in the camera, which just makes for a lot better screenshots than just not doing that at all. And compared to just hiding the HUDs, I mean, the little zoom in is just, the field of view is just so much nicer for a good screen or a good picture like that. So, yeah. Anyways, stop the stealth advertisement. But hey, it's my channel, I can do whatever I want within reason. We are going to drive this home and see what happens. I think I do have a plan. I think it would be best to kind of drive home the way we got here, down the other road and then up the dirt road. It's pretty dry right now, so we can drive up the dirt road as well with the full trailer. And I think we are going to get pretty close to. I think if I drive in from the front like we did earlier, I have a hard time like doing that 90-degree turn on the dirt road. Anyways, I do have a bit of an issue. I thought about unloading with skid steer. I think it would be better, simply because the shed is the way it is, with a small door in front. It's not ideal for storing hay or bales, general bales. But what we could do is we could do. There's a nice road down there. It's not in the map. Where does it go? Interesting. Well, I have to explore at some point. There's a lot to explore on this map. I mean, it's for Giant's map, it's really beautiful. It's just not as realistic as it could be for the area that's supposed to be, or generally for any area in the US. It's a lot just made up and fantasy, and it could be a lot more realistic. The postman and the school bus have a bit of a disagreement up there, but I think it's still a pretty nice map. So yeah, can we get around here? Yeah, we can. It's working. It's just barely working, but I think just give it the beans. Give it the beans, and yeah, it didn't really work. I was going to say just roll into the hill and but yeah, I didn't accelerate enough. But in this case, it really worked. I mean, on dirt roads like that, you need to do that a bit. Build up speed and just roll into the hill and hope you make it up there. Yeah, the issue I was talking about is if I use a skid steer, I can only unload the trailer from one side, and I don't have the space here, up here, to actually get around to both sides, which is a bit stupid. I'm the first one to admit that the placement of the shed as a hay storage shed is not the greatest. Maybe it's not going to be a hay storage shed forever. We're just going to do that for now. Previously we had hay stored in the lower in the round shed down there, and that was working pretty well. So yeah, but the round shed isn't really meant for hay storage. But ideally we would have for hay storage. Ideally we would have a shed which is completely open in the front, like not have doors to drive around, and ideally it would be over where the actual animals are, but over there we don't have any space on our own land, and unfortunately the neighbors don't want to sell on the land like upstairs, so to say, of ours, up the hill. We tried and we offer quite a bit of money, but they do not want to sell. We wouldn't really want big or a large amount of land, just a little bit, but yeah, they are not going to sell, so we can't buy. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let's just look on the map here for a second. We are here, and over there are our both animal pens or animal barns over here, and basically the road here is the dividing line between our ground and the neighbor's ground, and the neighbor's ground is over here, and I mean it's a huge area actually. That's all one thing, all those pathways going through, and so it's all on private property basically. And all we would want, and there's a house up there, I'm not sure if there's currently anybody living up there. All we would want is basically like a little bit of land right here. We could build a shed. That would be ideal because, well, there's no space, or basically it's a really big drop down there, and yeah, it's the only way we could build a shed anywhere here is basically up there, but it's still really difficult. We could let's just walk over there for a moment and take a look. Let's just walk down here, walk down here, walk down there, walk down there. Yeah, we could, but it's really difficult. The topography. I think it's a bird. I don't know. The like the height of the ground is just. We are on a hill here, and we are quite a bit on the hill here. So yeah, that's a bit of an issue. By the way, the grazing areas and stuff, that doesn't work unless you plant extra grass in it. Have to plow it all up, plant grass in it. Well, one day. Yeah, the only way where we could basically build a shed is right here. But as you can see, it still really drops off really quickly. So it would be like a short shed. Like if we would move this fence in, basically like starting from here and go straight down a bit and then over, we would have an area right here. Basically maybe up to, I don't know, where that other flower here is. I don't know, where's the drop? I mean, we could probably fill up to here a bit and have a bit of a wall here. That would be a nice shed for actual like feed materials and stuff. I don't know, we need to think about that, and maybe a future project. We could also do a little bit in here, like move the fence. Yeah, I don't know. We need this way to drive down to the silos. That would also be something we could change. We could drive over the road over there. Just really don't want to do that because of the dirt it makes. But I mean, we could do that. We just have to get like a cleaning thingy for the skid steer, and we would have to clean the road regularly. So we could make a barn basically all the way from here to there, full width, and probably quite deep. That would be also okay. But yeah, the best place would basically be here. It's also really steep, but we could pretty much cut into the bank, make a retaining wall back there, and could put a barn here for hay storage and stuff. But yeah, so far no luck. And if you go back there, there's not really any space. I mean, that's our land. Everything this side of the road is our land, but you can see it's pretty much a sheer drop, pretty steep down there, and all the way down to the road and the river. And if you go down there, it's basically a cliff here. You can walk over there for a moment through the bushes, and you can see this is what we're talking about. This is pretty. Yeah, that's going straight down. Over there's the river. Over there's a little road. And yeah, it's pretty dangerous actually here. So yeah, there's not much space here or not much room here where we could actually. I mean, we can't really fill, because if we start filling material here, it would really push down, and we can't really like build a big retaining wall. It's just not feasible. So yeah, we can't really build anything out here. And we already did fill up when we built this the newer. Yeah, this is the newer cow barn. We already had to fill up quite a bit here. There's an old retaining wall actually here from the old shed still. There was also a bit fill from the old shed that has been there. There's old cow barn that we removed and added a new one. But yeah, it's different now. We actually moved a lot of dirt here. We had to fell a few trees here. This one is still standing. We basically placed the dirt a bit around, and as I said, here's an old retaining wall. And yeah, it's not really doing its purpose anymore. It never really was. It was built, but it basically, even before the dirt was added, it already kind of moved. And yeah, we never really, ultimately we wanted to expand more in this area here, but we never really did. So yeah, that's basically what was our stopping factor for the new cow shed as well, that we couldn't really build any further into here. And as you can see, there's not really much space here either to like add a feed barn or stuff like that. Back there, that's pretty much a really steep drop. That's from the first time this was filled, the area was filled when the first cow barn was built. So yeah, that's the topography we're dealing with here. That's the land we're dealing with. It's not ideal. It's pretty steep over here. It's pretty steep everywhere actually. I mean, our entire main farm or old farm is also on a lot of elevation changes and a lot of like steps that have been carved into the land and filled to actually make it work the way it does. I mean, our farmhouse is up there, and our main farm always was down here. And this here hasn't been that way in the early days. It was more of a gradual slope here and actually like a bit of a meadow. But then at some point the road was cut in and this got a bit more steep here. Some dirt was moved from here to fill up there and to fill down there. So a lot of earthworks have been done on this farm. A lot of dirt has been moved around, simply because we are in a like a really disadvantaged location for a big farm build, just due to the steepness of it all. I mean, you can see here it's all sloping down, so there's not really much space, and that's basically the reason why. One of the reasons. I mean, one of the reasons why the barn was built up there. Even the first bigger barn was built up there because it was a bit more flat and it was closer to the actual farm, closer to the farmhouse. You always want your animals to be somewhat close to the farmhouse. Just you can hear them, you can see them. It's just you feel a lot better if you kind of can keep an eye on them. And yeah, because the other way would have been to build one down here. But it's all really steep here as well, so a lot of fill would have had to happen unless we would have built our animal barns down there on the flattest part of the land. But that's obviously really far away from the actual farm. But that would have been an idea, and I think my grandparents and parents thought about that as well. Another way would have been to actually demolish stuff right here and build them right here, to not have any vehicle storage here. It's a pretty big flat area to build on. It has been flattened out over the years, a lot of earthwork again to make it a really nice flat area. And it's pretty big, but if you think about it, for an extra cow barn, that's not really that big. It looks big like this and all the little equipment sheds and stuff, but if you start building a cow barn, space gets small really quickly because they're just large. It's just huge. And yeah, so that wouldn't have worked very well either. We couldn't have gotten any more or bigger barns in here than up there. But obviously, if we would have removed all the equipment sheds here, would have to build them up there. I would have basically where the round shed is now, in the back of the house. where the also the greenhouses are, would have to flatten this area all out and would have to place a big equipment shed there, maybe flatten out the area a bit more here, remove all those old, nice, really old growth trees. I mean, those are huge. Those are really, really old trees here. Those are probably here before this house was built. And we would have to remove all that and flatten out. And yeah, I mean, it would have been possible. A lot of things would have been possible, but no matter which way you look at it, we are at a disadvantaged location here with our farmstead for building. It's just due to the elevation and everything. So yeah, no matter how you slice it, it just it's always not ideal. It's always a compromise. So yeah, that's kind of where we ended up. Obviously, we could have also expanded down there somewhere, like make a complete new farmstead on this end of the property. The original property, actually, I'm not really sure, like how big the original farm was. But this here was most definitely part of it, like this whole slice here. And I think actually this whole slice here as well. But I'm not really sure how the borders were drawn up and how it actually happened, and when those two fields came along, and when this came along. Maybe those two came along different to this. Maybe these were all the same addition. I don't know if actually the road was there first, or I have really no idea at regarding to that part of the history of the farm. But yeah, that would have been an option at some point to just stop having the farmstead up here, just have the house up here in the old buildings and build a completely new farm down there. But again, my parents were very they wanted to have the animals close. They wanted to see the animals. They wanted to hear the animals. They wanted to look at the animals. And yeah, that's basically why they built into that direction mainly. And I mean, nowadays, yeah, can still sit on this swing and kind of watch the animals over there. The trees have grown really big over the years. They were a lot smaller, obviously, at some point. And especially those small trees in between, they were like huge trees here already, but they weren't as big, and the small trees in here weren't really trees at all. So yeah, it's a bit different these days. Not really that well visible anymore, the animals, but it's still like they're here and not there somewhere over there or somewhere over the hill. So yeah, I think that's pretty important, at least again to my grandparents. So let's just walk down there. Our weird pathway. Yeah, that's got a lot of walking. It's not actually not actually meant to be walked on. I think we always wanted to make a proper, like, really nice path, but it just happened this way. Back in the olden days, the path was more like down here and came out between those buildings. Also, I've told you in the first episode, I think, that a lot of this stuff has been demolished. There were other buildings here in between and stuff. So, yeah. Well, I was talking way too much again. I would say I don't know where our helper is. Um, Again, we do have multiple people here working on the farm, and I want this one to come up here. I'm not sure if he actually manages to do so, but yeah. Let's just wait until the skid steer is here, and then we might try to unload with the skid steer. Maybe we only unload one side of the truck with the skid steer, because again, I can't really can't really get towards the other side of the truck with the skid steer unless I would always drive around the front of it. But it's still here. The land is just not. I mean, it's not really. It's not. As you can see, there's still a lot of mud here and a lot of sand, and I mean, we are not really finished with this building. Is pretty new, and the area is not really paved, or like, we need to do some more work here. That's basically what I'm trying to say. We need to do some more work to make this building up here actually usable. But we already decided to put some straw in here for now, so that's what we are going to do. And we're going to see how well it does as a straw storage shed. Because, well, it's all not ideal here. That's just the way it is. So I think the skid steer is coming up here now. Let's just have a look. I think I hear it. Well, it's not the most pretty stack, but it will be in the dry. That's the most important thing. I started talking despite not having finished unloading the trailer, because a weird thing is happening again, and I'm going to show it to you. The bales are climbing up the bale spike again. I'm really angling it down to show this, and then we're just going to drive to the bale here. And as you can see, it really climbs up the bale spike. I don't know what's causing this. It's a giant thing. It's really horrible because that's kind of what makes bales be glued to the bale spike, I think. And it's really physically weird behavior. But yeah, I thought it was gone. I thought it was really not an issue in FS25 anymore because I didn't feel that when doing bales on Silage. But yeah, for some reason this bale fork does it. So I don't know what's up with the bale fork, or maybe it's the trailer. I have no idea. But I mean, we can do it from the outside perspective. As you can see, we're really angling it, pushing in. So, and now we lift the bale up, and you can see. That's so weird and so broken. Honestly, yeah, I don't know. That's just physically wrong. That's just so physically wrong. I'm really curious as what causes this. I don't know, but yeah. Oh boy. Let's just do another one, last one, just for fun. Let's really angle it. Just spike it a little bit, just a little bit. So try to lift it. And it starts climbing up. Obviously in this case we can't really drive like that because it's too heavy and too far away. Also we are in those weird holes there, and the physics for those holes are pretty bad. Oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, I started when I did the farms first. I started to make sand and mud holes everywhere because I thought that's really cool. You can do that, but then I realized that the physics are completely broken when driving into those holes. The vehicles just start to jump, and it's just really horrible. So yeah, I keep removing them, out of all my farm builds. Because it's just really horrible to drive through. I mean, like, yeah, it's really spiky, and it shouldn't be spiky. That's soft material, and soft material shouldn't be spiky. So that's the first thing, is that's completely wrong. That there's still spikes like that. You can see right here. I mean, that just shouldn't happen. And the next thing is, even if this happens visually, that shouldn't affect physics like that, because it's just it's soft material and not it's like driving on actual spikes, and it's just wrong. It's just physically wrong completely, and it sucks, and I have to remove them everywhere because it's just not really you can't really work with that. So yeah, we got all our bales home. And I have to say, it's fun driving that little skid steer. I still don't see the appeal for it in real life. I mean, you really bounce around in a cab. I know that because I've seen it in a lot of videos, farm vlogs and stuff like that. Really, really, really uncomfortable ride in those things. And the visibility is odd, but yeah, they are pretty maneuverable. That's most definitely a plus. And yeah, they can get in tight spaces, and they can I mean, do stuff like that. That's pretty nice. That's pretty neat. Can't do that with a wheel load, of course. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, in Germany, most farms are way, way smaller and way, way tighter to maneuver in than US farms, and they get by with wheel loaders just fine. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's the main reason. I think the actual reason why skid steers are, we talked about in the last video, because Bobcat was developed and invented in the US and was developed for farmers and farming. So I think that's just what sparked the skid steer the skid steer craze for farms. And I mean, yeah, they are awesome, and they do have their place, but I think for a lot of things, yeah, I don't know, wheel loader would be better. But yeah, it's fun in farm sim. I never really ever used a skid steer in farm sim, like, at all, because I never really did like a US save, and as I've said, in Germany it's just not really a thing. Skid steers, I mean, yeah, we do have skid steers in Germany. They do exist, but they are pretty rare. Usually they are for construction though, not really for farm use, and like a farm that actually uses skid steer. Pretty rare thing. So yeah, I messed this one up. No? I did really mess this one up. So yeah, that's about it. So yeah, playing realistic farms on usually German maps, just never really got to play around with a skid steer. But yeah, they're mostly fun to drive. That for sure. So yeah, it's just we can actually maneuver this big trailer down there into our. You can see like the jumping and the spiky terrain stuff, and it's just horrible. I mean, in real life, if you have a mud hole that's just really muddy, that's never like that. That's always soft and really very, very different feeling to drive through. So yeah, trains need to do a lot of improvement in that regard still. I mean, as great. Oh boy, there's the collision again. As great as the dynamic terrain is, and I do actually like it. I am positive about it. I wasn't sure if it would be, because Giants always said if they do it right, and they obviously didn't done it right. They didn't do it right, because it's just not there yet, like hardware and stuff. So they did succumb to the pressure of the community, who've always been asking for dynamic terrain, and that's basically what we have now. And yeah, I don't know if the community is happy with that. But I kind of knew that this is the most we would get if Giants did it with the current hardware requirements. And basically, I think they did more than I expected a little. I expected less. And it's actually physically real. Not like cattle and crops, but it wasn't physically real. But it's just the implementation is really, really bad still. The physical interaction is not the greatest. The issue that it's not synchronized in multiplayer is really a horrible thing, I think. For a really main feature of the game that's been advertised and everything, to not make it multiplayer compatible and not say anything about it, it's just a horrible thing to do from Giants, and I really think they should be held accountable for that. We don't have any word on off by Giants yet, like if that is intended, if it's a bug, if they're working on it, if it's just never going to be multiplayer compatible. But yeah, that silence doesn't make it better. And so far, with that silence, first, I do think it's a bug. I really hope it's a bug, because if it's not a bug, if it's intended, if one of the biggest features, one of the main selling features of the game just was planned to never work in multiplayer, then I think it's really, really, really shitty thing to do of Giants, and I think they should be held accountable if that's actually what they did. I don't know how they would be held accountable. I don't know how that would look like, but actually, like, really having a main main selling point of your game only work in single player is not okay. Yeah, at least not okay without telling anybody. I mean, they could have just said that it only works in single player, but they didn't, and that's pretty much, I think, that's most definitely somewhat of false advertisement. And yeah, I think that shouldn't fly, really. So yeah, out of all the things that Giants does and did, I think that's probably one of the worse things, actually. I mean, there are a lot of things that are bad, in terms of like, well, I don't like it, well, they should do better, well, they could do better, well, they didn't really listen to the community, well, blah, 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 stuff like that. But actually, just having a feature that doesn't work in multiplayer, that's bad. That's just straight up bad. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. I really hope that's a bug, and I really hope they fix it. I have no idea what happens next. We are at the beginning of January right now, I think 5th or something like that, the day I record this. So Giant, I think, is in holiday until the 7th or 9th. I don't know how long. I'm not sure if they're one more week or if they're back now, but yeah, no new words around next patch or anything like that. So we'll just see what happens and what's going on at Giants. I'm really curious about that, actually. What the plans are for the next patch, because so many things, little things, easy things, like where you think that should be an easy fix, that's just a small issue. And I know programming. I know some small issues are very difficult to fix, and other very big issues are easy to fix and stuff like that. But still, there's like a lot of small things, like the manure pits still not synchronizing with the thing. Yeah, manure pits don't work. They just don't work. If you place them down, they synchronize with the cow barn, and they fill up. But as soon as you save the game and reload, they disconnect and they won't produce any more manure. So it's just not working. I mean, you can't really delete and replace the manure pit every time you start a save game. That's just stupid. And again, we are on patch 1.4 now, and it's still not fixed. That's, for example, one of those things that should be an easy fix, and I know for a fact that it is an easy fix because there is a mod out there that already fixed it. So yeah. So much for that. And there are many little things like that where I think that's really actually like something that should be fixed because it's important for the gameplay, and it isn't. And yeah, I'm kind of disappointed at I mean, there were so many really big issues, game breaking big issues, graphic issues and stuff, that they obviously focused on that with the first patches. But I still think that the release schedule is just completely stupid. Releasing a game at 12th of November, where basically you have a month and a half, not even 6 weeks after release, where you go on 3-week Christmas break as a company, full on all stuff gone. That's just stupid. That's just really stupid, because I mean, you can't really fix and patch that much in 6 weeks. And yeah, I think they should release it in spring or summer, or like something like that. I don't know. But yeah, anyways, a lot of things still need to be fixed with the patches, and I really hope that there will be a next patch very soon after the Christmas break is over. I really hope they started working on it before already, because yeah, there's still so much that needs to be fixed. Anyways, I've talked a lot about nothing and many things. I don't know if that's a full episode now, or if you're going to do some corn, maize harvest, silage stuff. I guess I'm going to start editing this video and see where we land.